Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Um, I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. um, yeah, I wanted to pop up here, talk a little bit more about my MECFS. I don't know how to pronounce it, with the exception of the part that's the CFS, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. It's the myalgic encephalomyelitis. I think that's how you pronounce it, the ME part. I'm not entirely too sure how to pronounce it correctly. Who knows, maybe I am. But anyway, go look up the acronym, and then you could see how it's spelled, okay? Um, anyway, and this is in relation to long COVID. I also believe that it goes further back than COVID, which I believe I had twice. I think it goes all the way back to when I had the norovirus back in 2013, because the symptoms that they talk about with it falls right in line with what I've been dealing with ever since then with my gut issues. So, anywho, I wanted to, I know my sleeve is kind of funky. It got rolled up on me somehow. So anyway, I just wanted to pop up here, talk about what's going on with me right now. This is more of a video these videos are more for me, to document what I'm going through. If they possibly help somebody out, then great, but mostly I'm doing this for me, partly as a mental record so I don't forget, which I have a very bad, which I have a tendency to do. I'm trying to rephrase a lot of my terminology, not use so much negative terms, and focus a little bit more on positive affirmations and so forth. So, anywho, that also to have a record, as I am in the process of trying to get on disability, and also to have a record for doctors so they can see what is going on with me, okay? Because I've had those issues as well where they don't believe me or they want to misdiagnose me or what have you. So, anywho, so what's going on with me right now as I'm speaking? And actually started yesterday. I had decided I really wanted to get back into doing my physical therapy and my yoga. I will admit I had been doing it for a few days, and I'm like, okay, I really want to get back into it. So I did that, and of course I went for my walk as well. When I was doing my PT and especially my yoga, I really noticed it with my yoga because I do that first. I was feeling really stiff, okay? And I know I've talked about this before. I know I've experienced this before. But I'll admit, at the time, I was like, well, maybe it's just because I haven't done it in a few days or something. But then, well, after I got back from doing my walk, I ran downstairs, got a shower, and when I came back upstairs, started putting my stuff away. Whoa. Dizzy. Bad dizzy spell. So I laid down for a little bit, and then as I had every intention to go out to work, this was at around 8, well, getting close to 8 o'clock, something like that. And I was just like, okay, I just need to lay down for a few minutes, which I did, and then I tried to get up, and I got bad dizzy again. I'm like, okay, we need to really chill out for a minute. I thought, well, maybe I pushed myself too much or something. Not thinking, that there might be something environmental going on, which is usually the big trigger for me. And so I laid down, and I'll admit I fell asleep. which is also a symptom of what I go through, hence chronic fatigue syndrome. I can't I can't control it, and it's just like situations like that. I may feel lightheaded, dizzy ahead of time, but more often it's more just a crash, and I can't control it. So anyway, and I thought, oh shit, I pushed myself too much or something, especially after not doing for a few days. But I'm like, this isn't making sense to me. But either way, I crashed. Next thing I knew it was after 9 o'clock. And I'm like, screw it. It's a bit late, I'm just gonna call it quits and everything. And so I decided to do some more sewing, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then I did that for like a couple hours, something like that. And decided, okay, go ahead. It's close enough in time for my nighttime insulin, because I'm also a type 1 diabetic. So I'm like, okay, it's time, it's close enough in time for my nighttime insulin. Go ahead, take that, eat, go to bed. Okay. I woke up this morning, and I was woken up more like by my glucometer yelling at me, low blood sugar. Did that to me a couple of times overnight, including this morning. And so, yeah, safe to say I haven't had much in the way of sleep, which of course I need in order to combat the ME/CFS, but my diabetes had other yeah, that's another issue I deal with also, is brain fog. I had other ideas. Speaking of brain, and all morning I have been stiff, very stiff throughout my whole body. And I know I've talked about that in the past, but at one point last night, I looked finally to see if there was something environmental going on. It's like, hello, wake up, And sure enough, up there on the Canadian border, sitting right smack dab on the border between Minnesota and Canada, is some storm cells that looked like they were trying to form into a low pressure system. And low pressure systems are, out of all the storms, the low pressure systems are my biggest issues, my biggest triggers when it comes to from the flare-ups that I deal with in my body, including the brain fog and also the fatigue. So it's like, okay. And then sure enough, this morning I woke up, or I should say when I was woken up, sure enough, my whole body is just stiff. And I'm even getting to a point where I'm having difficulties with walking, to be perfectly honest. I'm feeling it more and more in my feet. And it's not the diabetes. It's just stiffness everywhere throughout my whole body. And obviously it's not my diabetes if I'm dealing with low sugars. So it's like, okay. So anyway, yeah, and I grabbed my phone, took a look at the radar, and sure enough, that it's definitely that very common image that you see with the low pressure systems with that comma shape, okay? And then there's like a break, and then there's a bunch of storms going, I think it's into the Dakotas, one of the Dakotas, I can't remember if it's one or both, and going off into Montana. So we're kind of like right there in the break. We do have clouds going through. I'll get this out right eventually. We do have clouds going through, very high winds, picking up a lot of the allergens and also blowing in allergens. So I'm a little bit stuffy. and sneezing a lot and blowing my nose and so forth, but hey, it is what it is. But anyway, like I was saying, there's like a break in between where the swirl is up there to the north, coming down, and there's nothing. But then you got the tail, the tail going off, and it's interesting to watch it because you got the swirl going on up north, and then you got the tail over here in between, with that break in between, and those storm clouds that are straight in line going into the Dakotas, or one of the Dakotas anyway, and going off into Montana. They're being, I don't want to say sucked in or whatever, but they're being influenced. You can see them going right straight up with the motion. You can see it all the way even into that imaginary line where that break is going up into into the swirl. So it explains a lot what I've been dealing with for basically about 15 hours now, something like that. And especially with the stiffness. And it's not a stiffness like that you feel with arthritis, okay? Because that's more like in the joints. This is in the muscles, okay? And actually more specifically in the nerves. And the reason why part of the reason why I'm able to make that distinction is I have dealt with that before when I was stung by a scorpion. Got me in this hand. And the venom wound up shooting all the way through my whole body. And it's that same feeling that I have with that. So, where it's just this, like, tight feeling. It's this, like, that could feel, the nerve endings firing up, just like, similar to the scorpion sting, only not as severe, not nearly as severe as what that was. But that stiff feeling that I had. And, of course, I'm still under the belief that with that, because the body is basically on fire, the nervous system is so much on fire, and it's basically sending all those signals up to the brain, hey, we've got something going on, and the brain is getting overloaded. So that I'm still in that belief that is what's happening. Also, I've also noticed, and I really noticed it last night when this is happening, of course, my body, especially with the fatigue, it's looking for, it's looking for energy. So, of course, my cravings are kicking in. And it's not just with that, but I also deal with cramping. Like today, my uterus, and I'm basically 2 months now without my period again. The cramping in my uterine area, my pelvis, I deal with that a lot. Keep feeling like I want to start my period any minute, It's just that sort of cramping in there. And, I really keep feeling like I want to start my period. And I feel like with stiffness, I feel it's like bloating, like I'm retaining water or something. And I kind of wonder if maybe I might be retaining water. But I've noticed too that I tend to get very hungry during this time. Cravings, of course, are kicking in. And like I said, I tend to be very hungry because I feel like my body is in overload and is looking for energy. So I did find that with doing my sewing last night, basically doing something that it isn't just a matter of keeping the mind busy. It's actually, keeping the mind going. Because you can keep your mind busy by, like, streaming something, especially if it's, like a murder mystery or something like that. Okay, that's, you keep your mind going with that, or like with reading or whatever. But actually doing something where there's, something constructive, something where you're having to do problem solving, having to be really paying close attention to something or whatever, whether it's sewing, woodworking, or what have you, but not something that is going to be overloading the brain too much, because it's already being overloaded with everything else that is going on in the body. But just kind of keeping the mind busy uh, um, with some sort of problem solving like that, like crossword puzzles, something where you're really needing to utilize your brain. I've found that is helping, especially when it comes to the brain fog and the fatigue. Now, I did notice that my hunger did kick in a little bit more last night, and the cravings, but I let it go, let it go, let it go until it was time for me to, I basically fought it until, because I'll admit throughout all of this, I've been gaining quite a bit of weight. I'm over 160 pounds now, and I'm like, no, I have never weighed this much in my life, and I don't like it, because I know it's not going to be helping. It's not helping with the situation that I'm in. So I need to find ways to get a handle. I don't want to say control it, but get a handle on it. Because I've been working on being more empathetic and compassionate, and finding balance between my mind, body, and spirit. Because unfortunately, the one can have a tendency to override the others or over-dominate. That would probably be a better term than override, but it can have a tendency to over-dominate the others, and then next thing I know it, I'm out of balance. Everything's getting out of whack. So it's like, okay, just stop, and okay, let's do a check-in, and let's see, where we need to find some empathy and compassionate between one or the other, in one of those areas anyway. So that's what things that I've been working on, and my intention with all of this is to get a better handle on what is going on and be able to work with it, so I can continue to live my life. Okay, I don't want to say, so I can continue to work. Yeah, that is a goal also, but it isn't just that. It's also to be able to have a life, period, instead of feeling like my bed is my life. I mean, that's no life. So, that's what I'm working on, and do this without supplements or anything, because the supplements, I needed those. I needed to be on the anti-inflammatory diet for a while. I needed to be on the cyclobenzaprine for a while and everything, but at the same point, I've always said I would make a terrible drug addict. Because if I ever had decided to try and do drugs, I would be a terrible drug addict, because I never remember to do any of it. I've never been a pill popper. Just like when I was a teenager, I'll admit I tried smoking, and I kept forgetting to do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that. Because I've always been a lover of life. So for me to go and do all those things, and I tried drinking, I did try that stuff, except drugs. I never tried drugs, but I never got into it, because like I said, I've always been more of a lover of life. I've wanted to experience things, but I wanted to be cognizant of experiencing things, and I never had an interest in any of the other stuff. Okay, so but yeah, it's just not me, so, but anyway, I thought I'd pass that along to you guys with everything. I did get started with my Sun Kachina. This is the pattern here. You could see with everything that is been shaded out how much I've gotten done so far there. Not too shabby. I got started with it a little bit on Saturday night. Saturday I got done with my baby's sampler. I picked this up about a year ago. I got done with another kit. It was a dresser, scarf, and doily set that I had started when I was still in Vegas. And I got done with them. I didn't have any others, my sewing with me. It's all still out there. I keep trying to get with my friend who has it, but she kind of keeps forgetting to send it. Or at least get with me, get it together. What I should say is get it together so she can let me know how much the shipping is, and so I can send that to her so she can send it to me. That's okay. I'm in no hurry for it or anything, but I had picked up this one here. Yeah, cute little boxy there, and her name and the date that she was born. It's supposed to be their name, the date that they're born, and then also their weight, but of course I don't have that information, and of course this date is just an approximate. So, but I got that done. All I had left that I had to get done was the name and the date. The rest of it I got done like a week or two ago, something like that. But anywho, I got those done, and then I could get things rolling here. You can see how much I've gotten done so far. All of the, let's see here, the red, I got that done yesterday afternoon. I kind of started the red a little bit Saturday night, but most of it I did yesterday afternoon. You can see the shirt, and then the part up underneath the blue there is basically a skirt. Okay, we're just going to call it, or a wrap, or whatever the proper term is, or whatever. And then all the black I did last night when I was dealing with my CFS issues. So I figure I'll finish up with the black, at least up there on top tonight, or today, after I get done with this video. And I want to see about doing my yoga and my PT and going for my walk as well. And try and go out to work, even if it's just for a couple of hours, a short amount of time or something. See about doing that as well. So what I really want to work on is finding a way to calm down the nervous system. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is in that way and of course getting things, balanced, working on keeping things balanced and so forth, is to find a way to help keep things calmed down. Heck, do those check-ins and so forth, and be like, okay, this is obviously flaring up. Okay, calm down, because unfortunately too, when things are flaring up in here, it affects the mind. The mind goes into overload with anxieties and so forth. And then, but the spirit is just like, no, ignore it, we need to do this, so everybody's trying to go off in 50 directions, basically, between all three. So, that is, what is that? I'm trying to figure out, okay. I'm like, what is that light up there? It's like we had the purple ceiling, but then we have this other light up here. It's like, okay. It just reminds me of a sun, I'm like, where's the sun coming from? Okay, never mind. So, anywho, that's one of the reasons why I'm working on all of this, to try and help, keep things in balance, keep things calmed down, and so forth. And one thing I'm finding, which I did not expect, that has been helping me, especially with the inflammation, the pain portion of things that I deal with. Fortunately, I'm not dealing with that too much anymore, which is awesome. It's just these other issues. So have to figure out how I can get a handle on all of that and help keep all that calmed down. One thing I've been finding that has been helping me a lot, I know I have talked about teas in the past, especially arnica, but if you don't have an Amazon account or some sort of ordering account like that, try Earl Grey tea. Okay, the reason why I didn't think I just got a craving for it. My friend, she had gotten this tea sampler, and it had had all these different flavored green tea boxes in it, and then there was one box of Earl Grey, and Earl Grey is made with black tea, and then this other substance, we'll put it that way, called bergamot. And I was just like, I know I researched it before what bergamot is, but I couldn't remember, and Angie, she couldn't remember. And I was just like, well, maybe it's a flower, maybe it's the essence of a flower, you know, like an essential oil, something like that, you know. But obviously probably not an essential oil, but anyway. But but it's flavor, it's aromatic like a flower. So that's why I was thinking that. But it's something kept buzzing around in my head. I'm like, oh, this would be really good, you know, especially if you put some, you know, like some orange peel in it or whatever. And then when I finally got around to remembering to look it up, and it's like, hello, that's the reason why the orange peel was popping through my head, is because bergamot is a citrus fruit that's found in the Mediterranean. And they're using the rind from that fruit to make Earl Grey tea. Duh! Sometimes it takes my brain a minute to kick in, but I mean, it's been a long time since I looked that up, you know, since I researched that, so obviously I'm not beating myself up over it, but it's like, okay, once I read it, I'm like, that's the reason. So, and I was surprised at how good I felt, especially my throat, because no matter what I did, no matter, you know, with all the PT and the yoga I've been doing, and even the arnica tea, the arnica it can have a tendency to irritate this in here. That's why I was doing a combination of that and echinacea tea, especially the one that is for throat comfort. That's why I was doing both of those together. But even with that, it still would get irritated in there, especially right in here on this side, this muscle right here. It just gets so irritated. It's like a cold, icy feeling, and you can't get rid of it. But it was so weird. I drank the Earl Grey. Bam! Took care of it. And it also explains why, like with those teas, they have a lot of lemon in them, citrus. And I was craving lemonades a lot. I crave that a lot. Also, zero sugar Sprite. You know, of course, lemon lime, citrus, citrus, citrus. I keep craving citrus, citrus, citrus. And then I have the Earl Grey with that particular type of citrus fruit. Bam, went right away. And anytime I'm feeling it in here, I grab a cup of that, bam, gone. But I have been finding that it has been helping with other things too, throughout my body, like a lot of the stiffness or even the pain, you know, like in here, that wonderful, wonderful pain I have in here, that I get constantly in here, helps with that. So, and I had a cup this morning, and I have been feeling better. I'm still dealing, of course, up here, and still dealing with stiffness. I could just figure this out. I'm working on it. I'm figuring things out one step at a time. But yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. And right now I've actually got, oh my goodness. I wonder if I can do this without. Oh, never mind. She woke up. She was sound asleep on the floor in the most oddball position I have ever seen her in. She kind of looked like she was dead or something. I knew she wasn't, but it was just like, what the heck? Oh well. But anyway, I got my cup of green tea here too. Which I know I need to drink And of course that's really good for detoxing anything out of your system, which is good because that's exactly what you need to be doing. Like the one supplements that I was taking, the L-arginine vitamin C combo. The reason why you do the vitamin C, the L-arginine is good for opening up the blood vessels, basically, and I believe that's what I remember reading in the study. It was one that was done in Italy for long COVID sufferers, because they found that long COVID sufferers, one of the big issues that we deal with is our arteries keep closing up. And so the L-arginine kind of helps to reopen them, but to help prevent oxidation from happening, they have that combined with the vitamin C to help flush everything out. Okay, so the green tea, of course, is a really good detoxifier. That can help with flushing things out. Yeah, the winds are pretty strong here, so doors are kind of slamming, opening, and closing, especially the ones that typically don't close very well around here anyway. So, anyway, try that, okay? If, like I said, if you can't find, you can also, if you can get your hands on it, get some arnica gel to put on. That can help also with inflammation as well. If you're curious about the supplements that I was taking, just head over there to the blog and start going through all of the descriptors of all the videos, and then you can see about finding that list as far as what I was taking. It did help. It really did help with getting the healing process rolling and so forth, especially doing it combined with physical therapy. Oh, excuse me. And then, of course, getting back into doing my yoga. It all helped. See, that was the thing, when I was doing yoga before, I really needed those supplements to help aid with the healing process. So, yeah, I would highly recommend doing those, most definitely, checking those out. And also combined with physical therapy, because then that way you're getting those supplements that your body needs, your muscles need, in order to help rebuild. But I would feel like I've been getting myself to that point where I don't want to say my body was becoming too reliant on them, but it was just, I was feeling like, okay, it's time to cut them out, and now let's have the body start rebuilding on its own. Okay, I do have another physical therapy appointment this week. I'm going to go ahead and keep that for right now, and then do it as a play it by ear after this week. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been in physical therapy, primarily because I had my gut issues last week, so yeah. But anywho, I'm very happy I got this rolling. So in that way I can also take it with me when I'm out there on the road, like when I wind up getting stuck in drive-thrus or stuck at Walmart or what have you, then, waiting for orders to come, Walmart orders to come out to be loaded, then, I can have this to work on. Something I've really missed doing. There's also another social media site. It's kind of a combination social media and a selling platform called Tido, or Tido, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but anyway, it was in a post that came across one of my feeds this morning, and I'm kind of interested in checking that out. It is for people who do arts and crafts, and it's a platform where you can sell without selling fees. Like, okay. And I guess you can do pro with like a monthly subscription or something. I don't know. I haven't really fully checked it out yet. And you can earn badges and all this sort of crap. But I'm like, that might be an alternative to Etsy. Because as far as I'm concerned, Etsy, yeah, it has its place or whatever, but it's become a little bit too corporate to the point where corporations have formed alternate IDs for them to be able to sell their stuff. So, yeah, and unfortunately, it's, prefabbed, manufactured on an assembly line sort of situation, and it kind of defeats its purpose as far as anything personalized is concerned, as far as I'm concerned. And there's been a lot of issues with them shutting down actual personalization accounts claiming copyright issues when these are people who have been doing things for years that were their own ideas, but with their AI technology, they're trying to claim that it's copyrighted material that somebody else is doing, and it's basically the corporations who have stolen their ideas. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't really done anything, and also, like with possibly selling my sewing or something like that. These ones, of course, I'm not going to be selling. But, I have considered doing that in the past. But I don't agree with it. And then trying to sell things on your own website, people are distrustful of it. On the one hand, people are distrustful of corporations, but yet at the same point, they're distrustful of individual sellers and I get it, because of all the scamming that happens. So you have to go with a corporation like Etsy in order to be able to sell, but it's also counterproductive or counterintuitive or whatever, because they rip off the sellers constantly, or people use those as opportunities to take advantage of sellers, claiming this, that, and every other thing, when they're scammers themselves, so, and unfortunately Etsy siding with them, and then the seller winds up getting scammed in the end, one way or another, actually getting ramrodded on a constant basis from all different directions. So I haven't really wanted to pursue anything because of all the issues that have crept up with Etsy over the last few years. So, and I know it's bad because, they do all that advertising or whatever, but these are just issues that I have come across people being disgruntled about. So it's enough to turn me away, not want to take those chances. But something like that, I know there's a Redbubble out there, but there's also this one, Tito, I don't remember, it's Teddoo. So that one seems kind of promising. So I'm going to check that out. I don't know, it's more me. Uh-oh. You okay? Uh-oh. Are you caught? Okay. I'm going to check your nails. I think you need a pedicure. I've been noticing that more and more. I thought she got her nail caught there for a minute. So yeah, I might check that out. I wouldn't like to do it. Of course, I'd be moving at my own pace with things or whatever. But I would want to do it because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. Because I'm not getting any money in or this or that. I don't want to do things for that way. For that reason, I want to do things because I want to do them. So, I don't know. Something to think about, something to check out. We'll see. Yeah, right. Say hi. I know, she's so beautiful. Oh, such a beautiful girl. Mommy. All right. I'm going to let you go. Finish my tea, have my hot cocoa, do some sewing, do all my yoga, physical therapy, go for my walk, all that sort of good stuff, brush my teeth. And maybe see about doing a little bit of work tonight. That would be awesome. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. I found out there some old sewing kits of pieces that I had worked up before but lost because they were in storage. So I'm seriously thinking about buying them and redoing them. And they were pieces that I absolutely loved. And I hated it with losing them when I lost my storage unit. But that would be awesome. But I have found them out there. The original kits, complete kits. I don't know how well the threads are holding up. And I know that they are accurate because I recognize and so forth. But I'm seriously thinking about buying them and have them on hand and redoing them. So another reason for me to get out to work and everything. And I have really missed it, especially the one. That one has really killed me. I loved that piece that I did. And it was always very inspirational for me. So, and I even found one that it was 4 samplers in one, but it didn't come with the thread. You do your own thread. And I remember my mom doing the one. The other two, I don't remember whatever happened to them, or if those two even came in it, or if it was a different one or whatever. But I remember doing the one, it was basically for a bathroom, and the colors that I chose and how well I did it and everything. Basically that one and the one that my mom did, they didn't last. We had a craft booth at a consignment store, and they didn't even last 24 hours in there. They were just so adorable. And my mom, she was just like, oh, I wish I would have saved the one that you did, and because it was just perfect. And we both absolutely loved it, but we sold it. So I can see about getting that as well and doing that one. I was shocked to find, I'm shocked to find any of them, to be perfectly honest. But you know, all these craft stores have gone out of business over the years, and somehow or another, they have survived clearance sales and so forth, and now they're up for sale on places like Etsy and eBay and so forth, and it's like, okay, and this is before we even had the internet things that I'm finding, you know, like this one, long before the internet was even being thought of, so, or at least on a commercial scale like we have now. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to get them. I'm definitely going to see about getting them all. And then I'll give me some more to work on to do. And I have those patterns, too, where I can do them up and maybe throw them out there for sale. And especially with as fast as what I'm sewing now. I had no idea I was sewing so fast. It's like, wow. I had no idea. And I could do my own patterns, too, and so forth. So, anywho. All right. I'm going to let you go, and I will talk to you later.